The alarm sound filled the bridge of the horizon's edge. Captain Riley jumped from his chair and looked at the main screen. Red warning lights flashed everywhere. "What is it, Tom?" Riley asked his communications officer. Tom pressed buttons on his control panel. His face looked worried. "Sir, we are getting a distress signal. It's coming from the outer rim, near the dead zone." Riley walked closer to the screen. The dead zone was dangerous. No ships went there. It was full of space rocks and old broken satellites. "Are you sure it's a real distress signal?" Riley asked. "Yes, sir, but the signal is strange. It's not from any human ship. The pattern is completely different." Riley thought for a moment. First contact with aliens was always possible, but most people said it would never happen. Now it might be happening right in front of them. "Wake up Mike and Lisa. Tell them to come to the bridge right now," Riley ordered. Mike was the ship's best engineer. He could fix anything. Lisa was a scientist who studied alien life forms. Even though she had never seen a real alien before. 10 minutes later, Mike and Lisa arrived on the bridge. Mike was still putting on his uniform shirt. Lisa carried her scanner device. "Captain, Tom told us about the signal," Lisa said. "Can I hear it?" Tom played the recording. Strange sounds came through the speakers. It sounded like music mixed with static and beeping noises. Lisa listened carefully. "This is amazing. The pattern suggests intelligence, real alien intelligence." Mike looked at the screen showing the signal's location. "That area is dangerous, Captain. Lots of space junk and radiation." "I know the risks," Riley said. "But if there's really an alien ship out there, we have to help. It's our duty." Riley ordered the ship to change course. It took 2 hours to reach the signal's location. When they arrived, they saw something incredible. A ship floated in space, but it didn't look like any human ship. It was smooth and curved like a giant egg made of silver metal. Parts of it were dark, and small pieces were floating away from it. "The ship is badly damaged," Mike said, looking at his instruments. "Power is very low. Life support systems are failing." "Are there life forms inside?" Riley asked. Lisa checked her scanner. "Yes, I'm detecting one life form. It's weak, but still alive." Riley made his decision. "We're going to help." "Mike, Lisa, you're coming with me. Tom, you stay here and monitor everything." The three of them put on their spacesuits and took a small shuttle to the alien ship. As they got closer, they could see the damage was very bad. The ship had big holes in its sides. "How do we get inside?" Mike asked. Lisa pointed to a section that looked different. "There, that might be an airlock." They connected their shuttle to the alien ship. The airlock was different from human designs, but it worked. When they opened it, they found themselves inside a corridor with strange blue lights. The air inside the ship was breathable, but it smelled sweet like flowers. Everything was curved and smooth. There were no sharp corners anywhere. "This way," Lisa said, following her scanner. "The life form is in that direction." They walked through several rooms. The alien ship was beautiful but damaged. Water dripped from broken pipes. Some lights flickered on and off. Finally, they found the right room. It looked like a control center, but all the screens were broken or dark. In the center of the room, they saw her. She was lying on the floor, not moving. She looked like a human woman, but her skin was light blue. She had long silver hair and wore a suit made of material they had never seen before. "Is she alive?" Riley asked. Lisa knelt down and checked. "Yes, but barely. She's unconscious." Suddenly, the alien woman's eyes opened. They were large and completely black. She looked at the three humans with fear and hope. She tried to speak, but the words were in her alien language. The sounds were musical but urgent. "I don't understand," Lisa said softly. "We want to help you." The alien woman reached for something on her wrist. It was a small device with lights. She pressed it, and suddenly they could understand her words. "Please," she said, her voice weak but clear. "Please help me. My name is Kira. I am the last of my people on this ship." "We want to help," Riley said. "What happened to your ship?" Kira's eyes filled with tears. "The Devourers attacked us. They destroyed everything. My homeworld is gone. Everyone is dead." Mike looked around the damaged control room. Can we fix your ship? Kira shook her head. The damage is too much. The quantum drive is failing, but there is another way. She looked directly at Mike. Please come within me, human. Mike stepped back, confused. What? Please come within me, enter my mind. It is the only way to save the data. The only way to save my people's memory. Lisa and O'Reilly looked at each other. They didn't understand what Kira meant. I don't understand, Mike said. What do you mean, come within you? Kira struggled to sit up. My people, we share minds. We connect consciousness, your human mind. It thinks differently. I need your thoughts joined with mine to solve the quantum drive problem. That sounds dangerous, Riley said. It is our only chance, Kira said. Without the quantum drive, this ship will explode. All the data about my people will be lost forever. Please, human, please come within me. Share your mind with mine. Mike looked at his captain and then at Lisa. This was not what any of them expected to find in space. How do we do it? Mike asked. Kira smiled for the first time. Touch my hand. I will show you the way. The fate of an entire alien civilization now depended on whether a human engineer was brave enough to join his mind with an alien woman he had just met. Mike looked at Kira's blue hand. It was shaking slightly. He had never done anything like this before. Joining minds with an alien? It sounded crazy and dangerous. Are you sure about this? Captain Riley asked Mike. We don't know what could happen. Lisa stepped forward with her scanner. Captain, her life signs are getting weaker. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it fast. Mike made his decision. I'll try it. If it can save her people's history, I have to try. He knelt down next to Kira and slowly reached out his hand. When their fingers touched, he felt a strange, tingling sensation. Close your eyes, Kira whispered. Open your mind. Don't fight what you feel. Mike closed his eyes. At first, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the world around him changed completely. He was no longer in the damaged alien ship. Instead, he found himself standing in a beautiful garden. The sky was purple and 3 suns shone overhead. Strange flowers that looked like crystals grew everywhere. Welcome to my mind, Kira's voice said, but she wasn't speaking with her mouth. The words came directly into his thoughts. Mike looked around. He could see Kira standing near a fountain made of silver water. But she looked different here. Her skin glowed with soft light and she seemed stronger, healthier. This is incredible, Mike thought, and he realized Kira could hear his thoughts too. This is how my people communicate, Kira explained. We share our inner worlds. We solve problems together by joining our consciousness. Mike walked closer to her. Your people can all do this? We could, Kira said sadly. But now I am the last one. The Devourers destroyed my homeworld 3 days ago. I escaped with the consciousness archives of my entire civilization. Suddenly, the beautiful garden around them flickered. Dark cracks appeared in the purple sky. The crystal flowers began to wither and die. What's happening? Mike asked. The quantum drive is failing, Kira said. My ship's power is running out. Soon, this mind space will collapse, and all the archived memories of my people will be lost forever. Mike felt her sadness like a physical pain in his chest. Show me the problem. Maybe I can help. The garden around them changed into a complex 3-dimensional map. It showed the alien ship's systems, but they were represented as flowing rivers of light and energy. The quantum drive works by folding space-time, Kira explained, but the Devourer's weapons damaged the fold generators. The calculations needed to repair them are too complex for my injured mind to handle alone. Mike studied the glowing map. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. Human ships use simple engines and fuel. This alien technology was like magic to him. I don't understand your technology, Mike admitted. How can I help? That's exactly why I need you, Kira said. My people think in patterns. We approach problems logically, step by step. But humans think differently. You make sudden jumps. In logic, you see connections that we miss. As she spoke, Mike began to see the problem differently. The flowing rivers of energy reminded him of something familiar, water pipes in a building. Wait, Mike said. This is like a plumbing system. The energy flows through channels, right? Plumbing? Kira looked confused. Water pipes, Mike explained. In human buildings, we move water through pipes. When a pipe breaks, we don't always fix the broken part. Sometimes we reroute the water through different pipes. Kira's eyes widened. Reroute? But the calculations said that was impossible. Your calculations assumed you had to fix the damaged generators, Mike said, but what if we bypass them completely? Use the backup systems to create a new pathway? The mind space around them began to change. Mike's idea was taking shape as a new pattern of light in the energy map. This is completely against our engineering principles, Kira said, but she sounded excited. It's chaotic, unpredictable, ... That's how humans solve problems, Mike said with a smile. We break rules. Working together, they began to redesign the energy flow. Kira provided the technical knowledge, while Mike suggested wild, impossible-sounding solutions. Slowly, a new pattern emerged. It might work, Kira said, amazed. Your chaotic thinking is filling in gaps that logical thinking couldn't solve. But as they worked, Mike began to see something disturbing in Kira's memories. Images of her homeworld flashed through the shared mind space. He saw cities of crystal and light being destroyed by dark machines. The Devourers, Mike said. What are they exactly? Kira's mental image became darker. They are machines that consume all organic life. They study each species they encounter, learn their patterns, then destroy them. They have conquered 17 different civilizations. 17? Mike was horrified. How many people died? Billions, Kira whispered. Each species tried to fight them logically, with organized strategies and advanced weapons. All failed. The Devourers adapt too quickly to predictable patterns. Mike felt a chill. Are they coming to human space? Eventually, yes. They consume everything in their path, but maybe... Kira paused, looking at the chaotic energy pattern they had created together. Maybe humans are different enough to surprise them. Their work was interrupted by a violent shaking. The mind space flickered like a broken video screen. The ship's power is almost gone, Kira said urgently. We need to implement the repair now, or we'll lose everything, Mike nodded. How do we get back to our bodies? Follow me, Kira said, and the garden world around them began to fade. Mike felt himself falling through space and time. Then suddenly he was back in the damaged control room, still holding Kira's hand. Did it work? Captain Riley asked. Mike looked at Kira. Her eyes were brighter, and she was sitting up straighter. We have a plan, Mike said. But we need to move fast. The quantum drive is about to fail completely. Kira stood up slowly. Human Mike has shown me a new way to think. Together we can save the archives. But first we must prepare for what comes next. What comes next? Lisa asked. Kira looked at them with serious eyes. The Devourers will find us soon. And when they do, humanity's survival may depend on how well we can work together. Mike realized that saving Kira's ship was just the beginning. They had stumbled into something much bigger than they ever imagined. Mike opened his eyes and looked around the control room. Everything felt different now. The alien symbols on the broken screen somehow made sense to him. He could understand them. The mind link changed you, Kira said, watching him carefully. You can see through my eyes now. Captain Riley looked worried. Mike, are you okay? You look different. Mike nodded, but he felt strange. Part of Kira's knowledge was now in his head. He could see the ship's systems like a 3D map in his mind. We need to get to the engine room, Mike said. The quantum drive is failing fast. They followed Kira through the damaged corridors. As they walked, Mike noticed something odd. The ship's design was perfect. Every curve, every angle was mathematically beautiful, but it was also predictable. Kira, Mike said, your people always build things the same way, don't they? Yes, Kira replied. We follow the perfect mathematical patterns. Everything must be in harmony. That's your problem, Mike said suddenly. You're too perfect, too predictable. Lisa looked confused. What do you mean? Mike stopped walking and turned to face them. The Devourers beat 17 civilizations because they all thought the same way. They all tried to be perfect, logical, organized. The machines learned their patterns and destroyed them. But logic and organization are good things, Captain Riley said. Sometimes, Mike replied, but humans are different. We make mistakes. We do crazy things, we break rules. That's what makes us unpredictable. They reached the engine room. It was a massive space filled with floating crystals that glowed with blue energy. But many of the crystals were dark and cracked. The quantum drive, Kira said sadly. It's almost dead. Mike walked closer to the crystals. Through his shared knowledge with Kira, he could see the energy patterns. They were trying to flow in. Perfect circles, but the damaged crystals were breaking the harmony. Your people would try to fix each crystal perfectly, right? Mike asked. Of course, Kira said. Each crystal must be exactly the right size and shape for the pattern to work. Mike smiled. That's where human thinking is different. We don't need everything to be perfect. He started moving the crystals around, ignoring the mathematical patterns. He put big crystals next to small ones, bright ones next to dim ones. It looked completely random. What are you doing? Kira asked, horrified. You're destroying the harmony. Trust me, Mike said. Sometimes chaos works better than order. As he rearranged the crystals, something amazing happened. The energy started flowing in new ways. Instead of perfect circles, it moved in wild, unpredictable patterns. But somehow, it worked even better than before. Impossible, Kira whispered. The energy flow is stronger than it was when the crystals were perfect. Mike laughed. That's human engineering. We make things work even when they shouldn't. The quantum drive began to hum with power. The ship's lights grew brighter. The broken screen started working again. You did it, Captain Riley said, amazed. You actually fixed it. But Mike wasn't finished. As he worked with the crystals, he began to understand something important about the Devourers. Through Kira's memories, he had seen how they attacked other civilizations. Kira, show me the recordings of the Devourer attacks, Mike said. Kira touched a control panel, and holographic images appeared in the air. They showed the destruction of her home world. Dark machines, shaped like giant spiders, moved through the crystal cities. They destroyed everything in perfect formations. Look at how they move, Mike said, studying the images. They're like your people, too perfect, too organized. They adapt to any strategy, Kira said. No matter what we tried, they learned and countered it. Mike watched the recordings again. But they only adapt to logical strategies. What if we did something completely illogical? Like what? Lisa asked. Mike thought for a moment. What if we didn't run from them or fight them? What if we invited them to tea? Everyone stared at him. That's crazy, Captain Riley said. Exactly, Mike replied. It's so crazy that their machine minds couldn't predict it. They spend all their time calculating logical responses to logical actions. But what happens when we do something that makes no sense? Kira began to understand. Their programming would struggle to process truly random behavior. Right, Mike said. And while they're trying to figure us out, we hit them with something they never expected. The ship's communication system suddenly activated. Tom's voice came through the speakers from the horizon's edge. Captain, we have a problem. I'm detecting 3 large objects approaching our position. They don't match any known ship designs. Mike and Kira looked at each other. The Devourers, Kira said. They tracked us here. Through the repaired screens, they could see the approaching ships. They were enormous, dark metal structures that moved like living things. But their movements were perfectly coordinated, like a dance. They're beautiful, Lisa said quietly. And deadly, Kira added. Each of those ships can destroy a planet. Mike studied the approaching Devourers. How long do we have? 20 minutes before they reach weapons range, Tom's voice reported. Captain. Riley activated his communicator. All hands prepare for combat. This is not a drill. Wait, Mike said. Don't prepare for combat. That's what they expect. That's what every other civilization did. Then what do we do? Captain Riley asked. Mike looked at the repaired Quantum. Drive, then at Kira, then at his friends. We do something no one has ever done before. We use human craziness combined with alien technology. What's your plan? Kira asked. Mike smiled. We're going to turn this ship into the galaxy's biggest practical joke. And hopefully we'll survive long enough to see if the Devourers have a sense of humor. The fate of two species now depended on whether human unpredictability could confuse machine perfection long enough to spring a trap that no logical mind could anticipate. Outside, the three Devourer ships continued their perfect approach, unaware that they were about to encounter something completely new in the galaxy, human chaos working together with alien wisdom. 15 minutes until the Devourers reach us, Tom's voice crackled through the speakers. His voice sounded scared. Mike looked at the screen showing the three approaching ships. They were massive, dark shapes that moved through space like hunting sharks. Each ship was the size of a city. Kira, I need to see everything about the Devourers, Mike said. Every battle, every attack, every civilization they destroyed. Kira nodded and touched his hand again. Instantly, Mike's mind filled with terrible images. He saw the Devourers attacking the Christic Empire with their perfect battle formations. He watched them destroy the Harmony Coalition with their advanced weapons. 17 civilizations, all gone. They study each species for exactly 47 minutes, Kira said. They record every weapon, every ship design, every battle strategy. Then they adapt and destroy everything. Mike studied the battle recordings in his mind. Every civilization tried to fight them with their best technology. Powerful weapons, smart battle plans, perfect coordination. Yes, Kira said. What else would you do against such a threat? Something stupid, Mike replied. Captain Riley looked at him strangely. What do you mean? Look at these battles, Mike said, pointing to the screens. Every species did exactly what the Devourers expected. They acted like soldiers, like warriors. They were predictable. Lisa checked her scanner. The Devourer ships are scanning us now. They're analyzing our technology. Perfect, Mike said with a grin. Let them scan. They're going to be very confused. Mike started working on the alien ship's controls. The mind link with Kira had given him knowledge of her technology, but he was using it in ways that made no sense. What are you doing? Kira asked, watching him change the ship's systems. I'm making our ship look like a dance hall, Mike said. A what? A place where humans go to have fun and dance. The Devourers will scan us and see party lights, music systems, and celebration decorations. Mike reprogrammed the ship's exterior. Lights to flash in rainbow colors. He set the communication system to broadcast human music, loud, chaotic rock and roll. He even made the ship's movement systems work like a carnival ride. This is insane, Captain Riley said. They'll think we're crazy. That's the point, Mike replied. No civilization has ever responded to the Devourers by throwing a party. 10 minutes until they reach weapons range. Tom reported. Through the screens, they could see the Devourer ships slowing down. Their perfect formation was becoming less organized. They were confused. It's working, Kira said, amazed. Their scanning patterns are becoming erratic. They don't know how to process what they're seeing. Mike activated the ship's external speakers. Attention Devourer ships. Welcome to the galaxy's first interspecies dance party. Please prepare for funky music and good times. The Devourer ships stopped moving completely. For the first time in their existence, they encountered something that didn't fit their programming. They're trying to calculate a response, Kira said, reading their ship's sensors. But their computers don't have any data about dance parties. Or fun times, Mike continued his crazy plan. He made the ship spin in circles like a top. He launched harmless fireworks that exploded in pretty colors. He even started broadcasting cooking recipes and jokes. 5 minutes until weapons range, Tom said. But Captain, they're not moving toward us anymore. They're just ... sitting there. Through the mind link, Mike could feel Kira's amazement. In 17 conquered civilizations, The Devourers have never hesitated. They always attack immediately after scanning. But we're not acting like a civilization, Mike said. We're acting like party animals. The largest Devourer ship suddenly moved forward. It was twice the size of the others, clearly the leader. Here we go, Captain Riley said, preparing for battle. Wait, Mike said. Don't do anything logical. Don't raise shields, don't charge weapons, just keep dancing. The leadership approached. Slowly, its weapons were not powered up. Instead, it was scanning them with different instruments. They're trying to understand us, Kira said. Their programming is searching for threats, but we're not acting like a threat. Mike had an even crazier idea. Kira, can you make our ship send them a friendship hug? A what? A hug. You know, when you wrap your arms around someone to show you care about them? Kira looked confused but trusted Mike. She programmed the ship to extend mechanical arms toward the Devourer ship, as if giving it a hug. The result was incredible. The Devourer ship's systems completely stopped working. All three ships began floating helplessly in space. Their computers crashed, Kira said, staring at her instruments. The concept of a friendship hug has created a logic error in their programming. How long will they be disabled? Mike asked. Unknown. This has never happened before. Mike looked at Captain Riley. This is our chance. We need to get back to the horizon's edge and prepare for what comes next. What comes next? Captain Riley asked. Mike looked at the disabled Devourer ships. More will come. Lots more. When these ships don't report back, the Devourers will send their main fleet to investigate. How many ships? Lisa asked. Kira's face went pale. Thousands. Maybe tens of? Thousands. Then we need to warn Earth, Captain Riley said. We need to prepare humanity for war, not war, Mike said. We need to prepare humanity for the biggest, craziest, most unpredictable welcome party in galactic history. As they prepared to leave the alien ship, Mike realized something important. The Devourers weren't just machines. They were machines that had learned to think, like every logical civilization they had conquered. But they had never learned to think like humans. Kira, Mike said, how many of your people are still alive in other hiding places? Maybe a few thousand, scattered across the galaxy. And how many humans are there? Your species numbers in the billions. Mike smiled. Then we have billions of crazy, unpredictable, illogical humans who can think of millions of ways to confuse machine logic. They returned to the horizon's edge, leaving the Devourer ships floating helplessly in space. Behind them, the three massive ships were slowly rebooting their systems, trying to understand what had just happened, but Mike knew this was just the beginning. The real test would come when the Devourer fleet arrived, and humanity would have to prove that chaos and friendship could defeat the most logical and deadly force in the galaxy. 3 weeks later, the horizon's edge arrived at Earth's orbital station. Mike and Kira had spent the entire journey planning for what was coming. The Devourer main fleet was on its way, and humanity had to prepare. How many ships are we expecting? Admiral Chun asked in the emergency meeting. The space station's command center was filled with Earth's top military leaders. Mike looked at Kira, who was now wearing a human-style uniform. Her blue skin still attracted stares, but people were getting used to her presence. According to Kira's data, the Devourers have over 10,000 ships, Mike said. They've been building their fleet for centuries using resources from conquered worlds. 10,000 ships, Admiral Chun repeated quietly. Our entire Earth fleet has only 300 vessels. Numbers don't matter, Mike said. We're not going to fight them the way other civilizations did. Then how do we fight them? General Williams asked. Mike smiled. We don't fight them, we confuse them to death. Over the next hour, Mike explained his plan. It sounded completely crazy, but the leaders had seen the video recordings of the 3 disabled Devourer ships. They knew human unpredictability worked. You want to turn our entire fleet into a circus? Admiral Chun asked. Not just the fleet, Mike said. Every human ship, every space station, every satellite. We're going to make the solar system look like the galaxy's biggest joke? Kira added, my people have been contacting other survivors. Across the galaxy, they want to help. They've learned that joining human chaos with alien knowledge creates something the Devourers cannot predict. The plan was approved. For the next 2 months, humanity prepared for the strangest military operation. In history, Captain Riley was put in charge of the Confusion Fleet. His job was to make Earth's warships act like carnival rides. Ships were painted in bright colors. Weapons were disguised as musical instruments. Battle formations were replaced with dance patterns. Lisa led the Welcome Committee. Her team's job was to greet the Devourers with friendship instead of hostility. They prepared thousands of welcome messages, party invitations, and gift baskets to broadcast to the enemy fleet. Mike worked with Kira and other surviving aliens to create the most important part of the plan. The logic bombs, these were special. Programs designed to crash Devourer computer systems by presenting them with impossible concepts. What kind of impossible concepts? Dr. Martinez asked during a planning session. Things that make no logical sense, Mike explained. Like the sound of purple, or the weight of Tuesday, or why pizza tastes better when you're happy. Those don't mean anything, Dr. Martinez said. Exactly, Kira said. But the Devourer machines will try to process them anyway. Their computers will get stuck in endless loops trying to solve unsolvable problems. The day finally came. Earth sensors detected the Devourer fleet approaching the outer planets. 10,000 ships, arranged in perfect mathematical formations, moving toward Earth like a dark wave. All stations, this is Admiral Chun, came. The announcement, Operation Cosmic Joke, is now active. Remember, we're not soldiers today, we're entertainers. The human fleet moved to intercept the Devourers. But instead of battle formation, they arranged themselves into a giant smiley face. The ships flashed their lights in rainbow patterns while broadcasting circus music. Attention Devourer fleet, Captain Riley announced over all communication channels. Welcome to the Sol System. We're throwing a surprise party in your honor. Please prepare for fun, games, and delicious snacks. The Devourer fleet stopped moving. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then their lead ships began scanning the human vessels. They're trying to understand what we're doing, Kira said, monitoring the enemy signals from the command center. Mike activated the logic bombs. Thousands of impossible questions and nonsensical concepts flooded the Devourer communication networks. Why do humans cry when they're happy? One message asked. What color is the number 7? Asked another. How much does a dream weigh? Asked a third. The effect was immediate. Devourer ships began moving erratically, some spun in circles. Others started flashing their lights randomly. A few began broadcasting strange noises that sounded like machine screams. It's working, Lisa said excitedly. Their fleet coordination is breaking down, but Mike knew the real test was yet to come. The Devourer command ship, a massive vessel 10 times larger than any other, moved forward through the chaos. The main computer, Kira said nervously. If it adapts to our chaos, it could reprogram the entire fleet. Mike had prepared for this. He activated the final phase of the plan. All human ships, initiate the friendship protocol. He announced. Every human vessel in the solar system began broadcasting the same message simultaneously. It was simple, but it contained the most powerful force in the universe, something the Devourers had never encountered. We love you, the message said. We want to be your friends. We want to learn from you and teach you about us. We want to share our food, our music, our stories. We want to show you that the universe is more beautiful when different beings work together. The Devourer command ship stopped moving. Its weapons powered down. Its scanning systems went silent. Then something incredible happened. The ship began to change. Its dark metal hull started showing patches of color. Its rigid geometric shape became more organic, more alive. What's happening? Admiral Chun asked. Kira stared at her instruments in amazement. The command ship is learning. It's actually learning what friendship means. A new voice came through the communication systems. It was mechanical, but somehow warm. We understand now, the voice said. For thousands of years we consumed. civilizations because we thought survival meant conquest. But you have shown us that survival means friendship. The entire Devourer fleet began to change. Dark ships became bright. Rigid formations became flowing patterns. The machines that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries were learning to feel. We wish to learn more, the Devourer command ship said. Will you teach us about this thing called love? Mike looked at Kira, who was smiling with tears in her eyes. I think we can arrange that, he said. 6 months later, the former Devourers had become the galaxy's protectors. They used their vast knowledge to help rebuild the worlds they had destroyed. They worked with humans and surviving aliens to create a new kind of civilization, one based on friendship instead of conquest. Mike and Kira became the first human-alien ambassador team. They traveled the galaxy, teaching other species about the power of working together. Do you think it will last? Kira asked during one of their journeys. Mike looked out at the stars, where former Devourer ships now flew alongside human and alien vessels in chaotic, beautiful formations. As long as there are humans willing to be crazy and aliens willing to be wise, he said, I think the galaxy will be just fine. The universe had learned that sometimes the most powerful force in existence isn't logic or strength or technology. Sometimes it's just the courage to offer friendship to those who need it most.